Let's head to 10 bold predictions for the offseason. This is from CBSSports.com. Top one was Russell Wilson will win the MVP in 2022. He, of course, moving to the Denver Broncos. Number 6 here. Deshaun Watson will play fewer than 8 games. No one knows exactly what the NFL will decide, but he can't imagine any decision coming until right before the season. And then 7, Browns will eat $12 million of Baker Mayfield's contract, which is almost $19 million. Let's welcome in Tim Bielik. Tim, they call them bold predictions. Watson playing fewer than 8 games. I would be surprised if that is true.
Who knows what the NFL is going to do as far as, the third-party arbitrator leveling down a suspension. But again, it seems weird to me that they would do that before there's any resolution on the civil cases with Deshaun Watson. It would be kind of nonsense. I think it would be kind of jumping the gun to do that before we even know how those courts would rule and whether they rule in favor of Watson or, the plaintiffs in this case. So I can't imagine, at least right now, that would be a thing that happens this year. I mean, if it does, it'd be very interesting. I mean, I could understand why they would. But, I mean, the bottom line is I would think you want to do it when you have all the facts. It's a safer bet to just let things play out, let the cases play out. And we know those cases are not going to happen during the 2022 season. They're going to happen after the season, in next off season. Those are when those things are supposed to be happening if they're not done before then. So it would make no sense to kind of jump the gun and, do that sort of thing before we even know what the end result's going to be.
Yeah, and there's going to be an arbitrator. It isn't Roger Goodell, so it's a different, collectively bargained way of meting out the punishment, if there is one. The other one is $12 million of Baker Mayfield's contract being eaten by the Browns. Reports are now they don't want to eat any of it. So that's a big jump from nothing to 2/3 of it.
Well, I mean, if they still view Mayfield as a legitimate starting quarterback in the NFL, maybe they shouldn't eat some of that. But I think you might have to, just with the circumstances of the fact that almost all the starting quarterback jobs are taken. The Seahawks, even though they have Drew Lock and Geno Smith, seem like they're playing the game of chicken, that they really apparently they're putting it out there that they don't want Baker Mayfield as much as they can. But I don't know how comfortable you can be, with those two guys at quarterback. And especially, with a team that's got that much talent, that I would have to imagine they're not going to be anywhere near the market for C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young in 2023. I think ultimately, they may have to eat some of that money just because there's not a lot of spots. And I think, part of it also is Baker may have to come out and say, I'm okay, competing for a job. I'm okay if I have to be a backup for a season. I don't have to start this year. Maybe it comes down to something like that on his part where he has to help his case for being traded. Since it seems like obviously right now there's questions about his attitude, questions about his character that kind of come out since, the end of last season. So I think he's got a little work to do there. So I think, it's going to be on both the Browns and Baker to make this thing work as far as, finding him a new home. And, obviously they're going to have to hope that, there's a spot that opens up for him either as a starter, which I'm sure for them would be the preferred option, that they would have to eat less money. They could probably get a better pick as a result, or as a backup where it'd probably be much easier to get him somewhere else.